Good morning, everyone. Welcome to morning meeting. Today we're going to be hanging out with Skeeter, our Eastern Gray Squirrel Ambassador. So he's going to get his breakfast, and we're going to hang out with him. As always, let me know where you guys are tuning in from today. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Otherwise, we're going to give Skeeter his platter and watch him hang out for a little while. Good morning, Skeeter. Are you so excited? Yeah. Here you go. Oh, there. Good morning, Skeeter. Here, I'm going to move this so that we can see you a little bit better. Ooh, there you go. Hello, Skeeter. He's like, I'm so hungry. Yay! So Skeeter is our Eastern Gray Squirrel Ambassador. Of course, they are super, super common. We have our gray squirrels, red squirrels, and flying squirrels around here. But Skeeter came to us. We believe he might have fell from the nest, so he came to us with head trauma. That's why he lives with us. He's about 7 years old now, so a little old for prey species, but we certainly adore him. So Skeeter's platter this morning has some greens, so chopped kale, some sweet potato, mushroom, zucchini, rodent chow, strawberries, acorns, and some sunflower seeds. Of course, the sunflower seeds are his favorite part of this whole thing. So this is his platter from yesterday, and you can see he's threw it all over the place trying to get to the good stuff. Right. Oh, Skeeter, you're so cute. Yeah, so the sunflower seeds are his favorite. Unlike Henry and Ophelia, our porcupine and opossum ambassadors, Skeeter doesn't go off-site too often, just because unlike the two of them, who will sit and munch on their food, as long as we have pieces of sweet potato and stuff like that for Henry, they will just sit there and munch on food and just hang out. Skeeter, on the other hand, would need lots of sunflower seeds. So he, of course, those are a little bit fatty, and so when he goes off-site, does go in a smaller little travel carrier. So he does spend most of his time here at the center saying hi to everyone. He doesn't necessarily always love it off-site. Yes. Good morning, Kim and Ryan. Hi, Mom. Say hello, Skeeter. Good morning. Are you going to eat anything else besides your sunflower seeds, bud? No. I love watching him dig through his salad. Like, I just want the good stuff. Just want my treats. Kind of like a child. I don't want my fruits and veggies. I just want my dinner, or my dessert. And make sure you get every little sunflower seed, Skeeter. Oh my gosh. So our squirrels are rodents, so they're related to our porcupines, beavers, mice. So all of our rodents, just like Henry, hey, have bright orange incisors, little front teeth. So sometimes you may be able to see Henry's when he's out on a program. He has two bright orange front teeth, and that's just kind of like rust on metal. So the iron in their food gets deposited in those front teeth to make them nice and hard, so they can get through nuts and seeds. Skeeter, you're... That's something that all of our rodents have here. Oh, there's a sweet potato. There you go. You threw the rest of it. You make a mess. Yeah. What do you think? Okay, now I'm gonna go take some of these and bury them. So our squirrels are responsible for our big old growth oak forest, so that they'll see he gets a bunch of acorns on top of his salad. So Skeeter loves to take them and he'll go hide them. It's called caching. So they'll take them, hide them, and then eat them later. Except they're notorious for forgetting their acorns. So all those forgotten acorns do grow into nice big oak trees, which is great because then you have more acorns to munch on later. Oh my gosh. Hi, Kitty.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh my gosh, look what I found. Good morning, Naomi. Skeeter. Yeah, I can do Henry after.
Okay, I left it up here.
Alright. What do you got? You have rodent chow or an acorn? I can't really tell. So cute. Yeah, so you can see those really hard teeth. Sometimes Skeeter, when he gets bored, he might start munching on things. Somewhere around here, we have a little, like a little antler, like that you could get for a dog. So Henry and Skeeter both have one if they would like to chew on it, because they are notorious for chewing. And we constantly have to be fixing Skeeter's enclosure. Sometimes he gets bored and wants to nibble on his walls. What? You want to go over there. So his teeth are constantly growing, as all rodents' teeth do. So we have to make sure he has stuff that he can chew on in here so that they don't get overgrown or he gets bored. So you can see on that log, too, he's been chewing on that. What, Skeeter? What? You ate all your sunflower seeds. I can't help you. Yeah. Henry does this too. Sometimes when he's mad that he ate most of his platter, he'll chatter his teeth. Yeah. What? Hi. Hi, Skeeter. I don't have any more treats for you. I'm sorry. What? Good boy, Skeeter. Good morning, Teresa. Say hello, Skeeter. I know. You have to go dig through your food again. Luckily, fall is coming, so Henry and Skeeter both really enjoy their acorns. So we do restock all of our acorns in the fall when they all drop. Because sometimes they don't come in very well, and they're kind of gross and moldy. So we do have to constantly try to be giving them good acorns, but luckily your favorite season's coming. To that big bushy tail. Good morning, Peter. He says put seeds in the bowl, exactly. Well, does it? Don't let him fool you, because he already ate all of his sunflower seeds. Right? Yeah, you're gonna eat the rest now? So we do try to give all of our ambassadors more of a mimic diet that they would have in the wild. So we do try to give them more seasonally appropriate local foods. So of course it's summer, end of summer, so we do still have some strawberries that we'll give them. And during the fall, I do try to give them a lot of apples as their fruit treats. Yeah. And all the squashes and gourds that come with fall. Henry really enjoys them in particular. Skeeter would rather obviously have his sunflower seeds and acorns, but most of their diet in the wild does consist of oak. So those acorns, as well as some of the leaves, but really eating those acorns. Skeeter's not a huge fan of browse like Henry is. So we do give him a little bit, but we know he's not going to really munch on it. So this one's more of just a decorative branch. It's American beech. And then he had some black birch in here. It smells like peppermint. Both our squirrels and possums, or our porcupines, really enjoy it. We'll give it to our baby squirrels in particular if they're having tummy issues. and some hemlock and pine, more decorative, and then back there you can see some oak leaves. But Skeeter doesn't eat too much of it. Sometimes he'll munch on a little bit of aspen, but he would much rather have his platter and his treats and be handed his food instead of having to work at the leaves to get him himself. Naomi, Skeeter is about 7 years old now. So for a prey species that is relatively old, yeah, 'cause they, of course, are very, very common, because they are prey to all of our raptors, our hawks, our owls. Yeah. But Henry and Skeeter do live right next to each other. So behind this wall right here, you can see the window up top. Sometimes Henry likes to say hello while we are in here to make sure that we know that he knows that we are here. So Henry's probably gonna go for a little walk after this because he hears my voice and he hasn't gotten his morning walk yet because he's only a little spoiled. So they do hear each other, they live right next to each other, but they're not roommates per se. They're neighbors. Yeah. Even though they are both herbivores, we just wouldn't want anything to happen, even though they would see each other in the wild. But of course, Skeeter is diurnal like us, so he's awake and moving around during the day. Whereas Henry should be nocturnal, even though he's not always the most nocturnal animal, because of his story. Henry thinks he's human instead of porcupine, he's imprinted. So he spends all day begging humans for food. And so he naps both during the day and night, but he is awake a lot of the day. Right? Henry, I hear you up there. Yeah, so he, right now, is climbing right above his door. I hear you. You'll get some attention later, Henry. Right now we're giving Skeeter some attention. So Skeeter has wood things to climb on, and then just like Henry and Ophelia, he has this little marble slate to help keep him cool. He usually sleeps up in that little nest box up there. But he's also been really enjoying this little bed up here. So it is a new addition to his enclosure. He spends a lot of his day sleeping up there. Nice and cozy. Hi. Like, let me show off my climbing skills. Oh, getting it? Hi, cutie. Skeeter. So because of Skeeter's head trauma, he sometimes is very forgetful, I guess you could say. So one of the fun things that we like to do with Skeeter for enrichment is we have like all these little nooks and crannies where we could hide things in here. And so we sometimes will play a game called Jackpot, which means that we'll put in a big pile of like sunflower seeds, acorns, rodent chow, some sort of treat for him to find. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, this is the best day ever!" Yeah. He also really enjoys his popsicle enrichments because he doesn't go on walks like some of our other ambassadors. Doesn't do a ton of programming, so we do have to make sure he's enriched in other ways. Good climbing, Skeeter. What? Hi. Yeah? What are you thinking? Oh, Skeeter. And so, if you guys can believe it, so even though we do see these guys all the time now, they're actually introduced into our cities. So they were out in more rural areas, but these guys, they're not hunters, they're cute and mammal, and people, they appear cuddly, though they're definitely not in the wild. Um, so people wanted to see these guys in cities. He's climbing on top of his roof right now. So people wanted to see these guys in the cities because they would see them out in rural areas. They wanted to bring them in. They're cute and cuddly. So they brought them in and introduced them into the cities. So they were not naturally in those urban areas. So it's interesting though. But of course, these guys, we are entering our second baby season right now, or second or third, depending on the individual mama, gray squirrel. So we usually get our first season of babies in March, April, May. Sometimes some stragglers. We are starting to see a third season in Eastern gray squirrels, so we will get a couple babies in the middle of the summer when we wouldn't be expecting them now, due to climate change. Moms are trying to kick in a third breeding season, because when they're born, they're only with mom before they're adults. It's only 13 or 14 weeks, I believe it is. So not very long. So they, even though they are very dependent on mom when they are young, we get many squirrel babies into our clinic that we do have to hand feed when they are very little. But then they do go outside, and once they hit puberty, they are not nice, I'll say. So a lot of us, even though we work with our raptor species and everything like that, some of our staff members and volunteers' worst bites have been from squirrels. By accident. Of course, we do wear protective equipment like gloves and stuff like that. When they are in our baby mammal room, so they'll stay in there and get hand fed until they're a certain weight, and then they will go outside. And as they get closer to that weight that determines that they're going to go out, they do become more wild. So we do have to monitor their behavior, and that's how we determine when we're going to start having to use gloves to feed them. When we can, as they start to get closer to that adult age, to where they're getting ready, or that juvenile age, getting ready to go outside, we lessen the amount of times we are hand feeding them, which is the best thing for them, because we want all of our patients to go back out into the wild where they belong. So these guys are definitely not good pets. You should never, if you find a baby squirrel, never try to keep it. Because even though they are pretty cute when they're babies and helpless, they very quickly turn into hormonal juveniles. They do need a certain diet, right? As you can see, as they get older, they turn into this platter, but it does have to be an introduction, and there are certainly certain steps for that. So anytime, if you do find a baby, especially right now, when we had that big storm a couple weeks ago, we got a couple tiny little babies in that next day as well. So if you do find a baby, you definitely want to call ourselves or another wildlife rehabber who can take the best care of them. Just because we know they are cute when they're little, but they really do need specialized care. Kara, him finding the jackpot would be cute to see in morning meeting. Yeah, one of these mornings I'll try to remember to grab a pile. So I have to hide it when he's asleep, or when he's like not paying attention, because we obviously don't want him to see where we're hiding the treats. But yeah, I'll certainly try to do it one morning. Right. So we have been trying to definitely squeeze our mammals into our morning meetings, just because they still aren't not able to go off-site with us for programming. We're still only allowed to use our raptors and our reptiles, and so our mammals are certainly needy of attention for playtime and enrichment. keep their minds occupied. What do you think, Skeeter? Are you like, okay, I got up for breakfast and now I'm getting ready for my mid-morning nap. Skeeter. What do you think, bud? Yeah. Hi. Okay, have you met all of your ambassadors in these meetings now? Most of them, yes. So I think the only exception would be Galileo, our great horned owl ambassador. He lives with Gaia, our female you guys have, may have met before. She has been on a couple of these. But he is a bit different. So he's not one of our typical ambassadors. He doesn't go on any sort of programming. We do not handle him. The only time we handle him is when he has to get like a medical health check. Just like us, all of our ambassadors do have to go to the doctors just to get a little checkup. So that's really the only time that we catch him. He's not a huge fan because he came to us as an adult, unlike Gaia. So our great horned owls are our largest resident owls here. We call them the tigers of the night because they are the top predators. So unlike Gaia, who came to us as a young fledgling, he came to us as an adult. And because of that, he's not a fan of humans. So his purpose as an ambassador is a roommate for Gaia, to keep her company, as well as his current job, being a wonderful foster dad. So Galileo and Gaia are currently fostering 2 baby great horned owlets who have been with them all summer. So they're teaching them how to be owls, what to look for in a mate in the future, how to vocalize. So all the information that we cannot teach them as humans. They do have to learn from their own species. So that's why you guys haven't seen Gaia a ton on these morning meetings, is because we don't want to go in there more often than we have to. So we go in the enclosure to feed them at night, and that is pretty much it. Just because we don't want those babies to become imprinted on humans. That's why you also haven't seen Violet, our turkey vulture, in a while. She's also fostering 2 little babies. And for the same reason, we don't want those babies to think that they're human and not a wild animal. Oh, I'm sorry, you're out of treats. But at this point, you have met pretty much everyone. The exception would be our bat ambassadors. Just because of the pandemic right now, there's only 2 people that are currently even feeding them every day. So Katie, as you guys have seen many, many times now, so she feeds them a couple days a week, and then when she's off, one of our clinic people, staff members, feeds them. Not so much that we're not worried about them giving it to us, we are worried about us giving it to them. So the bats are currently off programming for now. Hopefully once restrictions kind of get lifted again, we can start hanging out with them again, because we certainly miss seeing them every day. Yeah, Skeeter. But for all of our active ambassadors who are not off programming for some reason or another, because we have been doing these since March now, since the pandemic started. So we do try to rotate through everyone relatively often. I believe on Saturday, I have one of our retired ambassadors. I think Saturday I'll have Artemis, I believe it is, our little stalwart owl. So we have been trying to squeeze in ambassadors who may not go do so much off-site programming, and ones that we may not get to see so often. But definitely I've met pretty much everyone at this point. Right, Skeeter? Yeah. Like, Skeeter's always here, pretty much. He does a couple programs a year, but that's about it. Hi, Louise from Massachusetts. Welcome. Hello. We also haven't met, I don't believe you guys have met Scarlet. Um, so Scarlet is our red-tailed hawk ambassador, but because she's still in training, we do pretty much, sorry Skeeter, I stepped on your water, I'll give you some more. So she's still in training, and so she hasn't been doing a whole lot. But we can certainly try to squeeze her in sometime soon. Cause now that I'm thinking about that, you guys haven't seen her in a really long time, or if at all. Okay, Kara, thank you. We try to definitely squeeze in everyone that we can. And part of it is also now that we are doing some offsite programming, we are trying to make sure that we're using everyone semi-equally. Just so everyone gets a little chance to be off-site and on-site, so we're not overworking them. Teresa, if Skeeter could talk, I wonder what he'd say. Well, right now he'd be yelling at me for his sunflower seeds being gone. So if you guys may have heard him doing this little chattering, yeah, chattering noise. So that's a sound of displeasure that he has out of treats. But he's kind of like a 10-second Tom, I guess you could say. Very forgetful because of that head trauma injury from falling from his nest. Which is another reason why Jackpot is super, super fun with him. Because he gets so excited. Yeah. Or he might say, my neighbor is really loud. Can you change that, please? Because Henry has been whining this whole time that we have been in here because he wants to go out on a walk. What do you think, Skeeter? So that's something that he might say too. But everyone else around here, so we have the turtles outside enclosures right there. Scarlet's enclosure is right along that wall right there. And then Ophelia and Artemis are to the left, opposite side of the little trail over here. But Henry's really the only one that makes much noise. Oh, thank you so much for donating, Louise. That's so sweet of you. As always, we are super grateful for all of your donations. We couldn't do the work that we do without all of you and your support. We are a non-profit. We don't receive any state or federal funding for the work we do. So especially during this pandemic, not being able to do our normal off-site programming, which of course we all certainly miss all of you, and our ambassadors miss everyone. But we just, because we haven't had that programming and we've lost that source of income, we're really truly grateful for all your donations, because we are grant and donation funded and we couldn't do it without your support. So thank you so much, Louise. What do you think, Skeeter? Oh, nice itch. So if you guys have any last questions, I can certainly answer them. Hi. Otherwise, I'm gonna go hang out with and take Henry on a walk because he's very upset that he hasn't gotten any attention this morning. So, as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us this morning. As always, we're just so grateful that you guys are still hanging out with us every single day. Oh, Louise, no, thank you. Every little bit always helps, so don't be sorry. Like, we're so grateful for your donation. Anything big and small, things that off our wish list that we need for our new nature center and the new building, as well as just like paper towels, bleach, the normal things. So every little bit helps. So no, don't be sorry. Thank you so much, Louise. Ray Skeeter says thank you. That's your old salad from yesterday, you goof. You have fresh food right there. So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hey, come here. You say bye. Yeah. For tuning in this morning, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a great day, everyone. Say bye, Skeeter. I got stuff to do. Bye, everyone. You too, Teresa. Have a great day.